Let's switch gears and take a look at what's happening in the real estate market in Metro Atlanta over the last week. 2,742 homes were listed. Now, this does not mean that all 2,742 were brand new listings that have never been on the market. In some cases, a listing expires and it gets relisted. But there are 2,742 homes that were listed at the beginning of a listing agreement in the last 7 days. 1,194 went under contract, so that's about 1,500 more listings than the number that went under contract, which means listing inventory grew in the last week. We had 1,355 closings. We had some spring break stuff going on in some areas of Atlanta, and that certainly pushes down the number of closings. We would expect that number to start to climb over 2,000 per week and to run at that rate for May, June, July, August. And then lastly, there were 2,328 listings in Metro Atlanta last week that had a price decrease. So if you're a home seller, is now a good time to sell a house? Well, now the market is a little more balanced. I would say it's almost a balanced market in the single-family detached and the single-family attached, meaning the condos and the townhomes. If your home is in amazing condition, it will fly off the shelf. Buyers will line up to get it. You'll have multiple offers. If your home is in average condition, then you probably need to take some steps to make sure that what you're offering in the market meets or exceeds buyer expectations. So from a seller standpoint, can you still be successful selling a home? Absolutely. Do you need to be a little bit more serious? Yes. Do you need to be a little bit more flexible? Yes. But can you sell a home? 100% yes. From a buyer perspective, over the last 6 months, it has been the first time in years and years where buyers have actually had a fair amount of influence in the negotiations, meaning sellers are willing in many cases to reduce the price some. They're willing to provide some closing cost or some other payment of cost for the benefit of the buyer. And there was a time when I was so sad to think of the experience that the average buyer had as they went through the process of buying a home, because it was such a negative experience. You know, they've got FHA financing, they're trying to buy a home, there's 12 offers at the table, the price gets bid up by $85,000, and the sellers think that the buyer has some type of disease because they're FHA loans or VA loans or something like that, and it's such a shame that was happening. Well, that is not the case anymore. So if you were a buyer and sellers didn't like your financing in the past, you come to the market today and they probably wouldn't care at all. So good time to sell? Yep, as long as you're serious about doing the right things. Good time to buy? Absolutely. Even though interest rates are high, my guess is that whatever you buy today in 3 years will be worth significantly, probably to the tune of 10 or 12 or 15% more in 3 or 4 years than it is worth today. And in many cases, even if you're paying additional interest, that is more than enough to offset all of that additional interest payment.